Hey guys, Zephyrnix here, and I finally finished the brand new intro for my video blogs. Now, the reason why I haven't used it in a while was because I really wasn't proud of the work that I actually did on my original blogs. But I'm happy to say that this one actually turned out really well, and I've learned a lot from using it. So what I'm going to do right now before I show you guys the new intro, I'm going to go into the past a little bit and show you some of the intros that I've done. You know, well, at least, production intros, that is, to let you see how far I've come to this day. So on that note, here's the first intro that I've done. So yeah, needless to say, this one was well, I guess I do need to say it. This one was actually created from when I was on Newgrounds. Newgrounds is basically the website where the guys who make Castle Crashers came from. So as you see here, it's just nothing more than text just fading in. I think it's like regular fonts too, not even like new improved fonts, just regular fonts here. It's just regular red text coming in, fading in, and then the fading out. And then here's something actually somewhat interesting. You see a 3D text fly from the foreground to the background, and that was something I did for the first time ever. I wanted to, if I was going to do it, I'll make a good impression. I did it. So this was before I even moved to Florida. I actually did that and used a Flash 3D program to do it, and it came through. And then I learned about lighting, so I just showed a light over it. And overall, I got to say it came out pretty well. I want to do a little more, but overall, it did come out pretty well. Also, I used a song from Unjammit Lammy, which was one of my favorite songs, from one of my favorite games, to be exact. Another reason why I was really proud to use this particular song was because although it's from my favorite game and it was from, a good time in my life, it was also the fact that this was the first time I actually did audio editing. So, yeah, as you can hear right here, the song constantly continues, so I was able to make a small intro out of their intro, where at the time I didn't even know I could do that. So I kind of went beyond my own scope, in terms of what I can do, and wound up doing a pretty good job at it. Now with this one, I was inspired by the intros that are done in iMovies, so I tried to do something similar to that, and of course my video editing skills were nowhere near as good as they are now, so I could not really do it, but I did my best, and overall my best actually is pretty good. Now, I also used the game over music from Shinobi 2 in order to do this particular video. Shinobi 2 was definitely one of my favorite games out there, and I still play it to this day. So, it's definitely worth, it was definitely worth making the video. It was nice and smooth and nothing really, spectacular. All because I really couldn't do anything that spectacular at this particular time. However, later on, I did learn a couple of new techniques regarding video editing. After all, this one was actually done on Sony Vegas. So I came after that, I got my skills up a little bit, and I came out with this particular intro. Once again, I stepped up to Sony Vegas and I decided to try another type of intro. So as you see here, slow motion of course, you got the folding page in transition coming in. It's red. That's noted for later on. Now, as you see, I started off with my old picture that I did. The last picture from my old intro. I used that as the first picture for the new intro, and as it kept scrolling back, it kept coming. And this one took me a while to do, but I finally got it working. So what I did was that right here, I stopped it and I did another transition, like the flipping transition, and it flipped over and transformed into my name. Once again, something I was very, very proud of doing. And once again, I pushed myself to my limits, and I wound up coming out pretty strong. So this one was practically done pretty much the same way as the other one. And then it was modified when I turned into Zephyrnix. So here's the modified version. Now, at this point in time, I actually had stopped doing videos, and I decided to do one again after dealing with someone called Shalika Baby. So I started doing videos again and whatnot. Now, of course, this was a modified version of the old one, and this is when my name became Zephyrnix. So, you saw a different transition, and you see the same picture scrolling again. Just for the record too, another reason why I decided to change my name from Silvernix to Zephyrnix was because there was an old white gay guy who had the name Silvernix who was using that one. Ironically enough, there's a white woman now using the name Zephyrnix. I don't know. Anyway, so you see it turned once again my favorite. I was loving that. Using the same theme from Sonic the Hedgehog CD, turns it around, and then you have Zephyrnix. So not only that, but I wanted something else done too. So what I did was I went ahead and set the background flying. You know, Figured something new. Normally people don't really do that with backgrounds. They just leave the background. But I also decided to add a little effect, kind of a homage to Super Nintendo. So as you see right here, it's pixelating and disappearing, which is something that the Super Nintendo did very often. So about this time is I wanted to make a brand new intro, kind of reestablish myself. And so what I did was I took my old song, because that was a song that I actually edited myself, and I was very proud of how I did it. So I went back to it, and then what I decided to do was I tried to do a little bit more changes. Now, as you see here, I'm using actual video instead of pictures. So that was definitely a evolutionary step right there. Now, another problem that I had with this particular one is, while, as you see here, you got 3 videos coming up. The problem is that Sony Vegas only allowed you 4 video tracks, I believe it was. So it was really hard to do, but finally I was able to do it. So that's the reason why a lot of pictures are disappearing. And I used the text program that I used in the first video, the first intro, here, updated of course. So now you have that, and that's actually done via a chroma key effect. The background was actually green, and I used chroma key to put it in there. So, and also the background, why it make you think it's flying forward, it's actually just expanding. And the problem is that it's going to look pixelated, so I couldn't do it in HD because it looked very pixelated. So pretty much that was a good attempt, evolutionary attempt, but a failed one nonetheless. So about this time, that brings us up to the future, the present, should I say, and this is the intro that I'm doing right now. Pretty good, right? Well, I worked pretty hard on it. So here's some little things that I did. Now, first of all, this intro was done 100% in Adobe After Effects, where everything else was done in Sony Vegas. This was done 100% in Adobe After Effects. Now, of course, I'm going to put a transition there, by the way. It's not just going to appear. But also, what I wanted to do was I used a purple background. The first one I used a black, second was red, third was blue. Now this one is purple. Now, like the last and the one before the last one, you'll see that the pictures are or the video rather is moving from right to left. The one from the last, I usually use pictures, where the last one I used did video, so it's a collage like the other one was, and I thought I wanted to keep that. Now, last but not least, the coup de grace is the breaking of the background, and thus Zephyrnix pulling out. And that font is actually the font that's used in what do you call that, in Gears of War. So what do you guys think? I want to know your opinions on what do you think about the intro. Let me know.